Wahalathanthri, and I'm here with my 20th question set from the DBMS question set series. So in this video, I'm going to explain y'all how to answer these questions regarding this question set using queries such as insert queries, update queries, search queries, delete queries, as well as join queries. So in question set 16, we created a database called exam marks DB. We created tables for it and we inserted data to those tables. So in this question set, we have to answer questions considering that database. So let's see what are the questions we have to answer regarding this question set. So the first question given is find the number of students who participated in the first term science subject. So over here they are telling us to find the number of participants who participated in the first term science subject. So let me show y'all what type of query I'm going to type for this question. So I'll be using my Heidi SQL software to answer this question. So I will open a new query. So this is my database, exam marks DB. So I'll be typing a select query because we have to search. So our question here is find the number of students who participated in the first term science subject, first term and science. So now I'll begin by typing a select query. So we'll be using inner joins and subqueries likewise to answer these questions, to type the queries. So I'll be using an inner join for this question. So first I will select all from exam marks DB dot student exam mark records. Okay, so now I will select all data from the exam marks DB student exam mark record table. Okay, so now I'll begin to inner join the tables I want. So this inner joining means that we take two separate tables and with the combination of that we take the final result. So in my previous video I showed you all the full explanation about this inner join. So let me show you how I'm going to add the inner join for this question. So I'm going to inner join the exam term first. So I'll inner join the exam term. So it depends on the student exam mark record table dot exam term ID. So this exam term ID is equals to the term ID in the exam term table. So now I have finished inner joining the exam term table. Now I will inner join the subject table. So I will inner join it and it's also join the student exam mark records dot subject ID. So this is equals to the subject ID in the subject table dot subject ID. Okay, so now we have completed inner joining all the tables we want. So now let's begin to filter. So using this where clause, I will begin to filter. So first we will need the subject name. So the subject name will become science. And next we want the term name. So I'll next take the exam term dot term name. So this is in the first term. Okay. So now I will execute this query. Okay. So now you all can see that all the details of all the students has been loaded. So this is the output we'll get. But this is not the answer. In the question, they're asking the number of children, the count. So over here, I'm going to show y'all something new. So I'm talking about this part newly in this video. So we are going to use a new word called count. So using this word,
we can check the number of students who have participated according to these conditions we have given. So I'm going to take the count of student exam mark records, that index IDs, index numbers. So according to the student index numbers, they take the total calculation and they find out the number of students participating in science for the first term. So now let's execute this query. Okay, so this is the answer for the first question. So over here they are asking the number of students who participated in science for the first term. So now the answer is 8. So now this is the answer for our first question. So let's prove this. So if we go to the student table and go to data, y'all can find out that there are only 8 IDs. So only 8 students are there. Okay. So this is the answer for the first question. Let's move on to the second question. What is the minimum score obtained by the first term students? Okay, so now they are asking us the minimum score obtained by the first term students. So no subject is mentioned over here. So we only have to search the marks obtained for the first term, and they are also asking the minimum mark. So this is the query we are going to type for it. So I'll open a new query tab for it. So for this, we'll also need a select query. So I'll select all from student exam mark record table and I'll execute it. Okay, so now this will be the output for this query. And next I'll begin to inner join some tables. So I'll inner join the exam term first. Exam term. So it's in the student exam mark record table dot exam term ID. So this exam term ID is equals to the term ID in the exam term table. So I will compare it. Okay. So over here they are asking the first term students. So we only have to inner join this term table. Now I will filter it. So using this where condition, I will filter it where exam term dot term name is equals to first term. Okay, so let's execute this query. Okay, so all the details of the students' marks has been loaded likewise. All the details of the students who have participated in first term. So now they are only asking the marks. So we'll remove the star. We'll just take student exam mark record dot marks and let's execute it. Now all the marks of the students according to first term has been loaded, but in the question they are asking the minimum mark. So therefore we are going to add a new word called min. So for minimum, min for minimum, and for maximum you take max. So likewise we take these 3 letters MIN. So using this we can find the minimum mark of the students who participated in first term. So let's execute it. Okay, so 10.5 is the answer for our second question. So this is the minimum mark obtained in first term. So our second question is completed. Okay, next, our third question. Find the number of students who participated in the second term mathematics subject. Okay, so now they are asking the number of students who participated in the second term mathematics subject. Okay, so for this, I will again type a select query. Select all from student exam mark record and I'll execute it. Now I'll inner join the tables I want. So first I'll inner join our term table, exam term table. So it's in the student exam mark record table. dot exam term ID, it's equals to exam term dot ID. So now I'll inner join the subject table as well on student. Okay, so now I'll filter it using this where condition where subject name is equals to mathematics and the term name is equals to second term. Okay, so now let's execute this and see. Okay, so this will become the output, but this is not the answer. They're asking find the number of students. So again, we have to use the word count. So we'll give the count. And inside that, I'm going to take the student exam mark record dot student index number. Okay, so now let's execute it. Okay, so the answer is 8. So this is the answer for our third question. Next, let's move on to our fourth question. So in the fourth question, we have to use subqueries as well. So if we talk about the subqueries are nested inside normal queries, inside this insert, update, delete, search. So you all can identify a subquery when you all can see the word in and a bracket. So a subquery is inserted inside brackets. So let me show y'all how I'm going to type a subquery for this. So I'll open a new query tab. Okay, so now our question here is, which subject got the lowest marks in the first term? So this question looks really simple, but there's a lot of queries to type in it. So let me show y'all how I'm going to type it simply. Which subject got the lowest marks in the first term? So let's begin by select all from student exam mark record, and I'll execute it. Okay, so all of y'all should watch this step by step, one by one, really clearly. So I'll begin by typing select all from student exam mark record. So first I will select the subject dot subject name from, and we'll give this as subject. Select subject name from subject, and we'll give a where condition where subject dot subject ID, and we give a in. So if you see this word in, that means a subquery. This is a subquery. So inside this bracket, I'm going to show you how I'm going to type this subquery. So there are two subqueries inside this main query. So let me show you. So inside this in, I'm going to select student exam mark record dot subject ID from student exam mark record table. And next, I'm going to give a where condition for it, where student exam mark record dot marks. Then I'll again give an in for this. That means we are going to type another subquery. So I'll take this separately in another row. So inside this in, I'm going to type a new subquery as select min. So min means minimum. So they're asking us the lowest mark, so therefore we'll give min. student exam mark record dot marks. Or it's way more easy if we just type marks like this. Okay, marks from student exam mark records. And next we'll inner join our tables. Inner join subject on student exam mark records dot subject ID, which is equals to subject dot subject ID. Okay, so next I'm going to inner join our term table, exam term. So it's in the student exam mark record table as well. Dot exam term ID, which is equals to exam term dot term ID. Okay, so now we have finished inner joining all our tables we need. So now I will filter it where exam term dot term name is equals to first term. Okay, so that's the end of the query. So it's really huge, but don't worry, because this is the easiest way we can type it. Okay, so this is it for the query. So let's execute this. Okay, so science is the answer for our fourth question. So why is that our answer? So this is the lower subject which obtained the lowest mark in first term. Okay, so this is the answer for our fourth question. So let's move on to our next question. Find the name of the student who got the lowest mark in all subjects in the first term. So we are going to search the child who got the lowest mark. Okay, so I can use the same query for this. So I'll copy this. Okay, so now we are going to select student dot first name and student dot last name. So they're asking us the name of the student in the question. Find the name of the student from, and I'll change the table as student. And then I'll give the where student dot index number in. Select a student exam mark record and then student exam mark record, and we'll take the student index number. Student underscore index underscore number from student exam mark record, where student exam mark record dot marks, and then in select min marks, and then from student exam mark record, then inner join subject and inner join the term. Okay, so now let's execute this query. Okay, so this is the answer for our last question. Kasun Raja Mantiri. So this is the answer for our last question. So over here what we have done is, first we have given a select query. Select student's first name and last name. Okay, so these are the details we want from the student. From student, so we need this data from this table. And we need where the student index number is equal to. And then we have stopped the query and typed a subquery in it. Where the student index number, and then inside the subquery I have given a select query as select student exam mark record that student index number from the student exam mark record table where the marks. Okay, so now we have to search the marks. and I have given a subquery, and inside that, for the marks, I have told search the minimum marks from the student exam mark record table, and next I have inner joined the tables we want, the subject and the exam term table, and next I have filtered it that I want the lowest marks obtained in the first term. So this is how we have used subqueries and normal queries and join queries to answer this question. So this is the answer for our first question, and this is the answer for our second question, for our third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, so that's it. So I hope you understood what I explained. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. So until my next video, have a nice day and bye.